Now, would you trust caviar that came from Lake Erie? Well, I'm at a local Jewish deli and bakery that's serving just that. Pray for me. We're at Larder, a Jewish Eastern European delicatessen and bakery located in an Ohio City firehouse. Larder serves a wide variety of foods made from local ingredients, from knish to pastrami, headed up by chef and owner Jeremy Umansky.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. So what brought Larder into fruition? What made this a reality?
I grew up, my grandmother was a kosher caterer on the far east side of Cleveland in one of the synagogues.
Okay.
So I've kind of always been doing this. I was a bad kid.
Same.
They could only keep me out of trouble if they had me in the kitchen. 2014, my wife and I'm from Cleveland originally. My wife is not. We moved, I was living in New York. We moved here.
Gotcha.
And around that time, there was this documentary about Jewish delis going extinct.
Yeah.
Like at one time, there was hundreds throughout the island of Manhattan, and now there's like maybe a dozen. So this pattern of delicatessens closing, and we were like, we might be able to do something to like be part of the next generation of stewards, right, for this cuisine. So if I could do something practically to preserve our foodways, right, not nothing that's necessarily religious, but these awesome secular, intimate experiences that I can share with other people and be like, hey, this is how we eat. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I'll show you how I eat. You show me how you eat, and let's have a good time, you know?
Yeah, my name's Henry. I live around here, and I love this place. The Reuben is incredible, and the chocolate chip cookies are just like, they're unreal. I love it.
Stefan, look at this. This is beautiful. This is some pastrami right here, man. We start with Ohio raised, certified Angus beef brisket. From there, we get the raw muscle, right? We trim it up a little bit. We use this really fun ingredient called koji. We put this koji on it. It's a liquid, right? So it just looks like it's wet brine.
Right.
We salt it. And then after that, we get this really nice spice mix on here. Our mix, what's different about it is, aside from the black pepper and the coriander, we add, there's juniper in ours, but we had coffee, we had chocolate, and we had mushroom powder on top of the standard set of spices for pastrami. And here too, we never put our pastrami on a deli slicer. Let's see. Oh, look at that drip.
God.
Do you see that oozing out of there?
She's a wet one.
She is soaking. This is our sauerkraut.
Okay.
And this here is nothing short of microbial magic. Beautiful local red cabbage.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes out of Vermilion, just a little west of here.
Yeah.
And we sprinkle it with salt that gets mined under Lake Erie, and we let it sit for a few days.
Oh, yeah.
And it transforms into this beautiful traditional sauerkraut. That's how you make sauerkraut. Are you ready for this?
Let's see.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, man. Just the colors alone, it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. You know
Well, yeah, at first people were like, well, why are you making red sauerkraut? And I was like, well, because red cabbage looks fucking stunning, man, when you pickle it. It gets this fuchsia. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we eat with our eyes first, you know what I mean?
We totally do.
So where did the name Larder come from?
A larder is like in your kitchen, that little door you open, you got all your canned goods. That's a larder. A larder is an above ground root cellar. And if you look around in here, look, we got jars and somebody just climbing up on the ladder right now.
Yeah.
We got all these cured foods and pickles and stuff hanging around.
Right.
We are literally a larder.
Now it's time to sample some Lake Erie caviar.
And we decided, why bring in salmon? Why bring in cod? Why bring in halibut or any of these things if we're literally on the shores of the largest and most awesome freshwater resource in the world? There's people that run boats, day boat operators on the Great Lakes. They got 160-foot nets they drag, and they get whitefish, and they get carp, and they get all these great fish out of the lake.
Okay.
So we decided we would only use that stuff. This fish is the whitefish. It produces a yellow egg.
Okay.
It's firmer than the black egg sturgeon, but it's got a really yolky taste, a little bit of briny fishiness on the end.
Okay.
We serve a little side of it with toast.
I've never had a whitefish caviar out of my own homegrown lake, Lake Erie, and it sparkles like diamonds.
Oh, yeah. So you're going to see people doing this right off the hand.
Wow.
Just salty, yolky goodness.
Okay, let's see. My first Lake Erie caviar bump. Listen, I was going to say, I'm going to take it back to the streets. This is like some narcotic activity here. But this is I promise this is a family-friendly show. But my first caviar bump. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. If you like fish, it's delicious.
Yeah, you get that little bit of seafood, but then it's a salty brininess.
Yeah.
But it's not too much. It's almost smooth.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Let's get you guys sat down.
There we go.
I want to get you some bites, and I'm going to mix up some sodas for you to try.
There we go. Now, what do we have here?
This is Jerry's cheesecake. So my wife Her grandmother, her paternal grandmother, her grandmother won the grand champion at the Maine State Fair in like, I believe it was 1973, and then defended it the next year in 74.
Really?
This is that cheesecake. You got a couple other things here. These mini maple pies are so crazy. The Pop-Tarts this week are pumpkin.
Okay.
None of this pumpkin spice bullshit. There's actual pumpkin in that Pop-Tart. We cook it, you know, so you like pumpkin pie.
Sure.
And you got one of those chocolate chip cookies, man.
Of course. Had to do
It's
that.
nearly the size of a person's face.
I was going to say, that's a baby head-sized cookie.
This is a celery soda.
Celery soda.
This is made from fresh celery, fresh dill, apple cider vinegar, and pickling spice. The same spice mix that goes on like our kosher dill carrots.
So my first bite of a Larder pastrami sandwich, again, reminds you of that New York kind of pastrami, thick cut, fatty, with that brilliant sauerkraut on here. So many unique flavors in here. The bits of the coffee, bits of the chocolate, the pungency of the sauerkraut, the purple sauerkraut, the Barney colored sauerkraut with the earthiness of the bread. And it's so fatty, borderline gelatinous in bits, but that crispy crunch of the bread. I'm all about balance, folks. I need some yin in my yang. Taking it back to when your pop experience will be more medicinal than enjoyable. You have particles of the veggies, the pepper, and the herbs that are in there. And it's all settling at the bottom. So when you take a sip, you're getting like 50% drink and 50% veggie and spice in your mouth. But I'm not mad at it. It's almost like you're drinking a cold soup flavored soda. Pop. That is crazy. So these are a few of the desserts they offer here. First, we're gonna try this chocolate chip cookie, size of a baby head. Let's see what we got. First off, the quality of the chocolate chip, top tier. It's a crispy cookie. Me, I'm not the biggest fan of crispy cookies. I always will prefer a soft, gooey cookie over a crispy cookie. So it loses points for me with that one right there. A little bit of dryness there, not gonna lie. You need some milk. And this is a apple pie tart. If I have that incorrect, we will fix that in post.
These mini maple pies are so crazy.
It looks creamy, looks chunky. Let's see what we got here. Such a flaky, layered, crispy crust. The middle is creamy, smooth, damn near decadent. And it's borderline syrupy sweet, but it really just gives you the sense of a really good custardy pie that you would eat after a big dinner. But you only need one of these. Literally, I think I'd only finish half of these because it's very sweet, it's very rich. And this is their homemade Pop-Tart. This is the pumpkin Pop-Tart. Oh, we're looking good. That puff pastry is doing everything it's supposed to do. That pumpkin filling looks sugary, looks sweet. The only thing keeping this from being perfect are these goofy ass sprinkles. I do not, why do we put sprinkles on everything that could be amazing? This is like a 9.5 out of 10. That pumpkin filling, it's earthy, it's sweet, it's smooth, creamy, and it's not over the top sweet because you have that icing right there. That the icing bit is the over the top sweetness. So with that and the neutrality of the puff pastry, it just blends together so well. Everything, again, what's the word of the day, folks? Balance. It balances it out. And everything here so far is just very well balanced. Even the Pop-Tart, and again, I'm not even a Pop-Tart fan. The cheesecake. He has a blue ribbon on the wall for the awards that this cheesecake has won. Granny done did good. Granny done did good. First off, I always am going to appreciate a crispy brown top on a cheesecake. Most folks are afraid to let their cheesecake get a little melanin on them. They want it to be as pasty as a pile of mashed potatoes. No, let that cheesecake get a little bit of color on top of it because it adds flavor and it adds texture. You taste the oven with this right here, and that's what you want. And look how thick that crust is. That crust is almost a secondary dessert itself. And then the creaminess of this cheesecake It's just a very milky, and you taste the cream cheese, and it's so heavy. That little bit of twang right here. You can tell I'm passionate about my cheesecake. Flavor profile, texturally, visual appeal. How many calories are in this? This is 2,000 calories right here. I guarantee you. But will I get 3 of these to go? Of course. Folks, let me know what you want to try from Larder. Would you try the Lake Erie Caviar? Let me know in the comments if you're brave enough. Go ahead and make sure you follow me on social media. Anywhere you find me, I promise you, it's going to be a greasy ball of fun. I've been me. You continue to be you. And I'll see you soon.